awesome. And with Buddy Berry, what a ball of fire. It certainly woke me up, that's for sure. So right here, welcome to my presentation on using books and technology together. I did not just create, but as I was putting together my presentation, I decided I was looking at it from different lenses of creating, promoting, connecting, using it as assessment, and just plain enjoying reading. So down at the bottom, you can find that I have created a bit.ly. That's where you will be able to access my presentation, as well as I've already submitted that to the session resources, and you can get it from there as well. My name is Staudt, and I work for Mason City School District. I'm the District K-12 teacher librarian. That's 8 buildings, the only librarian. Makes it for a fun, adventurous day every day. You never know what's going to come, but I love it, and I love connecting with those kindergartners one day, and then going to a 12th grader and talking to them to prepare them for the next step in their future. I've done this 10 years as a teacher librarian. This is my third as K-12. I've also had experience in 2 other districts, and feel free to reach out to me at Twitter, at Sarah Staudt, as well as my email address is there too. As I say to my 5 paras I have, I'm just an email away, a text away, a phone call away, so that's my door opener to you, is I'm just an email or tweet away. I include the session description in case you wanted to get a little refresher, but ultimately, while you're here, I hope you can gain this, is building a culture that's genuine. It's a culture of reading, a community of reading. Don't get me wrong, I understand we need assessments, but we're losing sight of just genuinely talking about literature and having those kids go, oh, check out this book, or a teacher probably saying, I just got done reading this book, and just genuine open conversation. I must have competition next door. So, as I put this together, I want to present this from an angle of there are some things I have done, and then there are some things that I have an idea that I want to implement this year. This is what I love to do, is select a topic like something like this and challenge myself to try something, just a tidbit this school year, present on it, and then go back and take some ideas hopefully from you today and dig deeper and further implement it. So it's a combination, this presentation, of what I have done and things I still would love to do. And as I mentioned before, we're going to take a look from each angle. We're going to take a look at the creating and promoting. We're going to take a look at connecting, the digital tools for reading. Interestingly enough, I did not include this article, but there's an article out there saying that students actually prefer the physical book. And so while I want to acknowledge that, and I don't want to take away from the physical book, there is some digital tools for those who do enjoy reading online. And assessment, and then we have 2 maker spaces in our district out of 8 buildings, and I've definitely seen a tie with technology, reading, and the maker spaces. So that's the angles I'm coming from today. We're going to start with creating and promoting. And it starts as simple as book trailers. And let me just get a feel for my audience. Please stick your hand if you are K4 audience. Ooh, good chunk of you, okay. 5-8 audience. Okay, 9-12. Okay, I've got a wide variety, so I really hope I can target each of your grade levels. It's as simple as when you search for book trailers, it could be book trailers for elementary, it could be book trailers for tweens, it could be book trailers for high schoolers. And I've also included links to book publishing companies. Wow. I'm almost just as distracted. Anyways, here's some book publishing companies that I've also included links to their channels, and they do a nice job of addressing K-12 as far as the different age range of books. And with that, just recently, this book, raise your hand if you've heard of Wish Tree, okay, by Catherine Applegate. I'm sorry, I'm not going to give this away. I just had a light bulb moment. Oh, that would have been really awesome, right? So this book has been hot talked about since last April, May, and it finally came out 2 weeks ago. And the cool part about it is I run a book fair for each of my buildings, and the one book fair Tuesday, the book came out, and that Thursday was in the case. And so all along, that must have been, I'm like, oh, that book was in that case all along before it was even officially out. So I grabbed myself a copy of this. But I thought I would show you just a book trailer. Just starting out simple. I don't know about you, but when there's a Scholastic Book Fair and that author video, oh my land, that sells itself. And that's value, and that's where I love how a book trailer is a simple reminder that that's what hooks the kids. And so it can be as simple as finding a book trailer already pre-made by a book company, or it could be encouraging your students to create their own. Now, this is something we touched a little bit last year, and I didn't get any pictures, otherwise I would have put pictures up there. But we have kids that are reading books, and rather than the good old-fashioned report card where you're coming up and talking about your book, they wanted to do book trailers. And with that, we recommended that they first have to have the teacher, librarian, or the classroom teacher model. What's a good book talking system? What's a good book trailer look like? That type of thing. So some modeling to front load. And then from there, give a piece of paper. I love technology, don't get me wrong, and maybe you have some kids that need to put their thoughts down on a piece of technology, but sometimes it's a simple piece of paper, have them map out what they're thinking, receive approval from the teacher, they record their book trailers, and then share it out. And I've got some different ways of sharing out, which I'll share in a little second. But here's another one. Divided We Fall. Anybody read this one out here? This is on my to read, I admit. I have two sons. They're 6 years old and 8, and they're really into the military. Granted, they're 6 and 8. This is a young adult lit book, but I thought I would read it and kind of have discussions with them because they love the military life. And so here we have a student created one, and we'll show a little snippet of that. Out to the audience, what did you like about this student-created one? I've seen there's a wide variety on YouTube you can find. What were some good things that you are finding out about this one? Yes?
Music matches the type of book.
Yes, huge, huge. The music matches that, it sets the tone. Yeah.
They got you hooked, but they didn't give too much of the story away.
Right, right. And that's a huge part to tell the kids. Don't tell the whole story in a book trailer. And so, yes, that's a key piece. Yeah.
It's the right length of time. It's not too short. It's not
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's where you want to show some good examples, and maybe you want to show some not so good examples to let them know what you're looking for, setting that expectation for a book trailer. Moving on. I have a teacher librarian friend who is now working for Grantwood AE, Lynn Kleinmeyer, and I've included a link. She presented on this a year ago with lights, camera, action, and rather than repeating, and I want to give her credit where credit is due, and I wanted to share this presentation. She gave me permission, and right there, she has a lot of awesome video creation tools to promote literacy. The one I really want to highlight is one moment. She talks about the camera in just a simple picture, and she has students. She even models it herself. Chatterpix. Raise your hand if you've heard of Chatterpix. Use Chatterpix. Okay. She has some great examples there. I like this one with Abe Lincoln. Oops. There we go.
Hi, I'm Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. I did not go to school, but slavery was a big deal in my days. He broke into the southern and northern states. I wrote an address to stop slavery, but the southern people did not like it, so they shot me. I died the next day, but it was a memorial for me, just me. I still live on in the world as Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President.
Do you like the part where he goes, "You shot me"? But then the next day I got up. A little kid humor right there. So there's some great examples, and I'm one that when I present, I like to give you resources. And so in your free time, then you can go back and look. I also have discovered I have a problem when I put together my presentations. I should have given you a heads up. As soon as I got done doing this at 3:30 in the morning, I realized I had 82 slides, and I'm like, oh, 82 slides, I won't fit the time, but there's plenty of resources for you. I guess that's the librarian, and you raise your hand if you're a librarian in the room, okay? Shout out to my librarian peeps, and you get it, right? It's the library thing. You find one resource, and you're like, ooh, that's my problem. Oh, we have just that problem, right? All right. So sharing, whether it's your self-created or made by others, you can use Symbaloo. It's a bookmarking website. I've also included other options There are other 28 free bookmarking, Digo, Pearl Trees, all types of ones that I've included links. But my favorite is Symboodle. And then of course the obvious, social media, and tapping into what our students use. Just Friday I got done giving a presentation on digital citizenship. And I don't even need the resource or the statistics out there, but raising the kids' hands is how many of you use Instagram? The hands go up, Snapchat. Those are their top two, and so if we can tap into their interest of those two, I think that's going to reach a better audience and really hook them into reading. Other options are QR codes, Padlets, which I get into a little bit more, Thing Links, Google Classroom, and the library website. Another way to create and promote is digital storytelling. That's using a variety of oral tradition with visual and sound. It is that whole book trailer, book creating. Flipgrid, raise your hand if you use Flipgrid. Okay, I'm gonna reach out to you and tell me what's your experiences with Flipgrid and what do you love about it?
I'm using it for America Reads. We have America Reads Day on Friday, and so I started with my 4th and 5th graders. So I gave them the link. They're recording and talking about what their favorite book is and why, and I've done it with one class so far, and it was really impressive how serious they were about it. And they're like, oh my gosh, can I do another one? What if I have 2 favorite books? And so then I also passed it on to our staff in hopes. So our principal tried to kind of get us to use it, and it didn't happen, and so now hopefully we'll also incorporate that for them.
Awesome, that's so exciting. So they genuinely just tapped in and take it serious, excited, and want to do more. That's what I envision for just building a genuine culture or community of readers. So that definitely is creating that culture. Who else? I saw some other hands. Please share.
It's so easy that we trained 5 of our students and they trained everybody else. And if you were all the kids were trained in like, I don't know, 20 minutes. Okay? We did the global digital citizen day, and we had a prompt just out there, why should you be a good digital citizen? And it was just, and then they could see responses from everybody else who participated across the country and around the world. So that's what I like about it. It was so simple. It's just right away to get things done.
Absolutely, yeah, and I love how you're in the later on I go about connecting and you're getting it globally. So that's just a huge piece, and I bet they love that. All right, I would love to see more or hear more stories. Excuse me. So I want to just highlight that this was recognized as a best app and best website for AASL 2017, and that's really what hooked my attention on Flipgrid, as well as Andy Clemens. He's from Athens, Georgia. A neat guy that I've included his Twitter. I recommend following him. He's innovative. His blog posts are always interesting. And lately, if you just do even a search within his blog, he has a lot talking about Flipgrid. And that is the main guy who inspired me to look and dig into this deeper. And I want to go further. Our elementary is using it, but I'm not seeing it so much at the secondary level, so that's where I want to dig into the secondary level. And he talks about his uses are second graders share persuasive essays, they create book talks, the 5th graders wrote letters about important issues and asked other students to add their voices. I just like how he's adding in the piece where they're sharing information, and then it welcomes the students to respond back to that, and just creating that open, genuine dialogue. And I'm going to share, for those who are not familiar with Flipgrid, I'm just going to share a quick overview.
Welcome to Flipgrid, a video-based discussion platform to fuel engagement in schools and organizations. Use video the way your students use video and build an active social community in your classroom. Flipgrid is simple. Create a grid for your classroom, a project team, a conference, or an entire organization. Once your grid is created, add a topic or two to get the discussion started. Students record videos and respond to a topic from any device. Finally, users can view and reply to each other's videos and build an active learning community. Lock your grid with a secure password or leave it open for ease of access. Moderate your grid to preview videos before they're visible to your community. And embed your grids, topics, and individual videos to any blog, classroom website, or learning management system to take your discussion further. So, how will you Flipgrid?
All right, so that's a quick overview of it. And then in the next, I do have 2 videos back to back. Normally I don't like to, but I really like the voice that's given to this. Amy Clemens talks, Joy Valenza as well. She is from Rutgers University, and they talk about what Flipgrid does for students.
It is amazing to watch what kids will say to a computer screen that they won't say to a teacher. There's a level of honesty that comes out from kids. You see more of their natural side, or sometimes more of their personality comes out when they're making a video. It's very personal. A lot of kids who are timid to speak directly to a person will share all kinds of things on a Flipgrid. So to me, it's a tool that very easily lets kids have a voice and be heard with very little work on the side of the teacher other than asking a question and giving the space for that question to be answered.
One of the things that I think librarians have been in the vanguard about is using technology in authentic ways, not just for consuming, but for creating. The authenticity of video and voice really helps build community and relationships. And relationships are what it's all about. Learning happens best when there are relationships between the faculty member, the instructor, and the students, and among the students. When Maslow said, if the only tool you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. We've got a more powerful toolkit than ever before, and we can use it to create and make a difference in our worlds. So I want my students to go out there and model that in the K-12 environment, and I want their students to be able to create and participate in powerful ways.
I was looking for an application where I could use technology inside of the classroom as well as outside of the classroom for students to speak their math thinking and then hopefully have other students follow their same process. So most recently in my classroom, I took the math practices and focused on perseverance and understanding problems. Each group then was responsible to record a response that was moderate.
So I would love to play it. This would maybe some great tools, resources to use back in your building, in your district, to persuade others to join the Flipgrid wagon train. And right here are some examples. I have, if you click on the pictures, you are able to link out to the blog post. And what Andy does is he goes into depth of how he does it. And so I encourage you to look at it. I really like this last one he did with fifth graders, tying in text clues with illustrations, and he goes into depth about that. But as you can see, for example, we'll click out, and it takes you to the Flipgrid his students made. And so you click on it.
Archie was right. A very strange-looking woman was standing by the back door. It was stone hard and the face swirled around her like a soft white cliff. If you listen to that carefully, it says that there's a woman standing by the back door and it's snowing around her heart like a soft white cloak. If you look at the picture, there is a very strange-looking woman in the snow.
So I won't play it all, but as you can see, here's all these students. They added their voice, and just clicking on that and playing it, there, as you can see in the, when you click, it says add your reply, and it allows you to reply. I'm on your reply right now. I don't want to scare the kids or whatever, but it's also a great digital citizenship piece of talking about using the links appropriately, also who your audience is. You can set the settings tight so nobody, obviously Andy Clemens has allowed it to be seen by anybody. So it's up to you how you want your settings.
See, and that's in the paid version, right, where you can reply? Because I don't think you can in the free version.
Correct. Thank you for adding that part of. Here are some, another example that they use, character traits. That's a Common Core standard, IMA standard, and so you can even, besides just genuinely talking about a book, is pick out a feature of a standard that you want to pull apart and use the flip grid for that. And right here they used it for character traits, which I know our 4th grade is coming up on, so I want to practice this implementation with our 4th graders at 2 buildings, 2 of the 4. Google. How many of you use Google already to promote books? Okay, I decided instead of me going through and showing, what could you do for Google Slides? I'm going to open up to you, the audience. What could you do for Google Slides to create and promote books, reading?
They have book, I have it pre-done book doc and
Okay, absolutely. So a book talk in a sense. What about Google Draw?
some of my kids last year, I had to make children's books. And so some took and went to Google Draw and illustrated everything and then inserted text in there or inserted the drawings into their book and did it between Google Draw and Google Doc.
Wow.
Whole great tools.
And when your kids did that, what feeling did you get from them? Were they?
They loved it because then we took the books they made, I bound them, and they shared them in the library, opened all the school. So they felt like authors.
Awesome. It sounds like they were invested and proud of their work. Absolutely. Google Sites. What could we do with Google Sites to create and promote? Maybe you have, I thought of seeing if I have some students at Lincoln Intermediate, our 5th, 6th grade building, put together a committee of students and they read some books and put book reviews and use different formats of the tools I'm sharing today, and just having a go-to spot that the kids can have a voice and it's a creative website from their perspective. And Google Forms. What can we do with Google Forms?
Polling or, what's your favorite character or whatever?
Absolutely. I even think this would be a good place to ask questions and teach kids how to ask a good question that sparks something besides a yes-no answer. I think that would be a good piece. All right, in the social media, huge. Anything you create, whether it's a book trailer, you use Google Draw, to share it out and have Snapchat, Instagram. I think those are the top 2 that I would like to reach my audiences in my district. I've been approved to create school-based accounts for Snapchat. We're just working on some barriers, just a few, as far as taking the controls off of that, and also teaching the kids more about digital citizenship with that piece. So when we think about social media, as I have been approved for this, they've asked me at the administration level, well, what are you going to post? And I said, well, we could post a check this out, whether it's new books that just came in. It could be a feature on a certain book, a series. It could be the latest, greatest, most talked about book. There are some librarians across the United States and children's lit gurus, I call them, and they're the ones that really tap in and give me a heads up on the literature to watch out for, and so just sharing out their message as well. I've even challenged that I think not only do I need to do a better job of telling the kids what I'm reading, on a flex schedule, I don't get to reach everybody in the course of the day, so by using social media, I can post. I'm currently reading right now Crenshaw by Catherine Applegate. That's her 2nd book in the series. And so by posting that, I think that's modeling it. I also have thought about reaching out to my staff and having them post what they're reading. And I think as teachers, we all read, but are we sharing that with our students? And so it's something simple. It could be also as old-fashioned as get a piece of paper up and post it somewhere around your desk that the kids can pay attention and, oh, she's reading this or he's reading that, and get them hooked into what we're reading. I think if we lead by example, it's easy for them to follow and create that culture of readers. Also, author and illustrator spotlights, and just highlight some of the great authors and illustrators out there, and maybe reach out to them. I know there's quite a few authors and illustrators that, with just a tweet, that we could connect with them and they're willing to reply back to you. So something as simple as that. Facebook Lives. I haven't done it, but I really, really want to do it. My passion is reading aloud picture books at K-12. I am blown away. There's this misconception out there that picture books are only for the elementary kids, and we all know they're not. E is not for easy fiction. E is for everybody. And when I've read even as fun as The Day the Cranes Quit by Drew DeWalt to 11th graders, they were sucked in. And they almost, it was like they forgot they were in high school in a sense. They were just mesmerized. And so I would like to go out and use Facebook, have a library page, do a live, schedule it with a class, and then that gives the option that other classes can join in during that time, or it allows them to go and pick their time that works for them to go back and watch that recording. I definitely don't think I can see myself reading in front of a camera without an audience. I think that would lose that interaction piece that I live for, so that's why I think to include a piece is huge. Wow. You're having a good time. I hope you're not regretting being in this session. All right, Pinterest. I love Pinterest because it's just as simple as creating a board, putting a bunch of book trailers on there, maybe classroom teachers looking for a specific unit, and I can create a collage of books to go there. It's as simple as even allowing students to create their own Pinterest accounts and tapping into what they're reading and putting a board together. So that's why I threw in Pinterest. Gamification. Lindsay left from Waverly Shell Rock, and she's come up with some gamification digital badges, which is because she was inspired by Sarah Nelson, who used to be Sarah Lull, and she's known for her digital badges work. And she's used a book menu with the theme of In It to Win It or Chop. And these kids read off of a menu of books, and then based on that, they can earn prizes, rewards. Well, she's going to take it to the next level this year. She and I have been talking about this. Is going digital with it and figuring out ways to have kids turn in digitally the books they're reading along with some format of a project, whether it's one of these creation tools, and then earning digital badges for it. So that's something we brainstormed and it's in the works. Has anyone tried gamification or digital badges along the lines of reading?
I'm getting ready to start. I was doing it, maybe possibly using the Goose Chase.
Okay. Excellent. So maybe reach out to me and maybe we can all team out together. Okay. With our reading motivational program, Lindsay and I are also working on another one. It's called #Project. And it kind of gets into what I'll be talking about with book snaps. And we want to tap into creating a special hashtag. Our kids post to it from each other's districts and finding a way to unify not only those within our building but outside our walls as well. And so I give little details about that. Other tools, Canva, S'more, Adobe Spark, Buncee. These are all great tools to create that you can then turn around and share out with social media. Chatterpix, Toontastic. I forgot to put Powtoon in there, even though I had an example of Powtoon. Telegami, ThingLink. It could be, ThingLink is fun, where you could just take a picture of the book and then link it out and relate it to topics, maybe add some voice, sound, that type of thing. Book snaps. Here's your people heard of book snaps before. Okay, I love this. Tara Martin is the creator of this, and I tweeted out to her just a couple days ago and asked her, hey, can I give credit to you and really promote your awesome work? And she was totally game for it. But what a book snap is, as you can see in this little screenshot right here, is a picture of the book and incorporating emojis and reaction. And I'm going to, and if you click on this link right here, see I have it out my just find temporary resources and my link. And right here takes it to her website, and you can click through and see all the variety of snaps. And this just taps into that Snapchat, using the Snapchat app itself, and then downloading it and sending it through email to the teacher, or posting on their social media. Look how fun that is, just to add emojis, adding comments, that type of thing. But I've included that for a resource. And there she is. And I have also not only included her website, but her YouTube channel. I really like how she goes into depth and models this. And I imagine I'm getting down on my time, so what I like about her philosophy is when she came up with this, her question was, what does it mean to connect text in the 21st century? In one of her TED Talks I've listened to, she talks about how her son is using Snapchat all the time, and she hated Snapchat. And then one day she thought, wait a second, he should teach me Snapchat, and then I should find an educational use for it. And that's when Book Snaps was invented, or she created. And with that, she's highlighted reasons why that this is a good route to go with Book Snaps, connecting text in the comprehension piece, annotating and sharing excerpts of any reading material, the digital imagery, just a memory recall, and she also talks about how it supports literacy, comprehension, neuroscience, and she goes in to talk about the brain in her TED Talk. Here are some other examples. And I'm going to go link out, and she has a really interesting video I just want to highlight. Here we go. I feel like Ferris Bueller. Anyone? Loading. Baby dot. Well, in your free time.
Okay, so there you go. So the first thing you do is open your Snapchat app, find a quote that you want to take a picture of, and simply take a picture of it. I usually try to make the quote somewhere in the middle of the page. It's easier to see when you post it on Twitter if you do that. So then, from here, I typically do my quote first. So we're going to go to the T and type in our quote. Put the author here. And I typically hashtag the book, so for this one it's that. So then you can move that around. Should you want to change the text, you can press the T again, make it bigger. You can also, right here, change its color. If you're on the T, you can change its color by pressing the T and pressing the color back. Now I'm going to show you how to add images. There are lots of different things. If you want to add your own Bitmoji, you can go to bitmoji.com and set up your own Bitmoji. And when you scroll over like this, it would ask you to sync your Bitmoji. I already have one, but should you choose not to use a Bitmoji, you just scroll over and you will see lots of stickers and also just the emojis that you normally use on your text. So typically what I do here is I just type in a search. So I'm going to type in thumb up. And then I'm going to use my Bitmoji for this thumbs up. To make it larger or bigger, you just simply type in world or earth. Just find it the way you like it. Then you could write. So say you wanted to write, yeah. You can use the pencil here and you can change the colors there. Alright, so say you have your book snap created, you love it. You're going to do two things. The first thing you want to do is save it to your camera roll, and the bracket with the arrow above it is going to save it to your camera roll. And then you also want to save it to your story because...
Alright, so you get the idea of a book snap. What's your thoughts on hearing about a book snap? It excites me in that it hits what they're interested in. They love Snapchat. They're always on it. And what a great way to tap into that to promote books. What are your thoughts out there?
Oh, I could be doing that rather than, writing one paragraph on
And tapping into vocabulary, character traits, quotes, that type of thing. You can just pick apart a piece of literature, text features, and build upon that.
Sarah?
Yeah.
What age group can you start using grade level? Start using that?
Kindergarten. And it's even, in my presentation, I imagine I'm running out of time, I've included like using as simple as Google Draw and allowing the kids to just like take a picture using their Chromebook or their iPad app and use something as simple as that. But I can't up this with my finger, but I did see that she had as young as kindergarten. But I imagine there would be a lot of front loading and modeling and baby steps. Any kindergarten teachers out there? Yes.
Seesaw is another good app to use books now, too.
Yep, I got that. Yep. So like Google Draw, Seesaw, Bunsy, absolutely. Do you use Seesaw?
I'm working on it.
Working on it? Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Hit collage, that type of thing. And here I have a 4th grade teacher at Jefferson Elementary in Mason City. She started doing this back in May. She wants to pick it back up, and I said I would like to use her as a model classroom to use in the rest of the district. But right here you have 2 examples from them. What do I have, till 2:10? Okay, I can get down to time. So also use your celebrations. I've linked out to some literature-based celebrations. Dot Day just came about, Talk Like a Pirate Day. Global Read Aloud November Picture Book Month. Those are some great times to bring in some of these tools to promote literature. I've added some more, starting in February, World Read Aloud Day, then April Poetry Month, May is Children's Book Week. I've also included a link that someone created with a s'more of other celebrations that you might be interested in. But I always say use one of these literature-based celebrations as your foundation, your takeoff tool to try book promoting and using some of these tools. Book shelvies. It could be as simple as using Canva, creating a little advertisement, taping it on that book itself, or on that shelf itself with a QR code, encouraging the kids to bring their iPad and scan it. It might take them to a book trailer, whether it's pre-made or made by somebody else. Using QR codes also maybe to allow them to give feedback and voice record. I also have included a link of QR code ideas that go to book shelvies. And Seesaw is another great app that you can tap into for creating and promoting books and opening up discussions. Maybe you post a discussion question and from there people respond. And then connecting. I could go on and on about Google Hangout and Skype. In the last 3-4 years, I've done these celebrations and I've Skyped as far as, this one was my coolest one, Brazil and Canada. And rather than go into detail within this, because obviously I have tons of information, at the end of my slides, I have included the presentations I've done in the past that talk about my Google Skype and Zoom Hangouts, that type of thing. And Google Suite is obvious. It could be collaborative, a place where you challenge the kids to go to a Google slide presentation and then they add all their books they're reading. Padlet, I love this one. It's just a nice way to post something and allow the kids to add their sticky note of ideas. You could tie this into discussion questions, book recommendations. I even love to make it a wish list. and have a link out there for the kids to add to that to say, hey, I want these books in our library. Flipgrid is a way to connect, like what you were doing with another, could you give an example of someone, yeah, you went outside of your walls of your building to do Flipgrid, or not me? Okay. Sorry. Two great places to go for book recommendations where the kids can put their voice into it is Biblionasium. And if your library is connected to Destiny, and for a paid version, you can connect Destiny and Biblionasium together. I'm working on a book because I'm interested in this feature. And Goodreads is another one to go to. How many of you have a kid that goes, I don't know what to read? Okay, two websites right here, Bookseer and Your Next Read. All they have to do is click on one of those two links and type in the book they got done reading or one they're interested in, and then it takes it off and suggests other ones. I do tell them that it is powered by Amazon and Goodreads, and so I tell them you're going to still have to go back to our card catalog and teach them to use the multiple tools and making sure we have that book, or that's where the opportunity would be. Let's go to the Padlet, put that as my suggestion. Oh goodness, digital tools for reading. I have an AEA on my BookFlix, TrueFlix, ScienceFlix, FreedomFlix. Those are all literacy based. And like I said, don't get me wrong, nothing beats a physical book. But we do have some students that like this online option. Mac and Via, which I have the Mac and Via guru in here, Jane Frizzell. She's awesome. Jane, what AEA are you? Great Prairie. I'm used to AEA 267, now Central Rivers. But Guru and Mac and Via. Newsella is a great option. Storyline Online. That one has a bunch of books read by a variety of celebrities. Epic Books, it is only free for 1 month, but I have found some teachers invest and they think it's worth it. I just came across this one when I was doing some research. Has anybody heard of Just Books Read Aloud? What's your feedback on it? I haven't used it, but I was like, ooh. Awesome. Okay, I'm getting down to reading apps, listening stations with Seesaw, and I've even thought kids can create their own to read out, have a higher skilled reader read something and then allow a lower skilled reader to listen to it. And obviously with assessments, I've included some ideas as far as having kids read and record themselves to listen to themselves read. You could do that also. Comprehension-based questions. Here's with Snapchat using it as a vocabulary example and using that as an assessment piece. Texting story, just on Instagram, I recommend following Technoliteracies. Shaylin Farnsworth is part of this, and she always has tips. And Texting story just came out a couple days ago, or within the last 2 weeks. She shared about this, and I think it's a good option. More on digital storytelling, makerspaces. I won't bore you because obviously you have to go, but basically using books to guide curiosity in both our elementary, Jefferson Elementary and Lincoln, but have a wander question and using the print and non-print to research and then experiment in the makerspace and then use whatever you've discovered and present a final product. All right? I would love to tell you about my 8-year-old that he came up with. He's the one that inspired me. And if we would have time, I would love to have totally played and shared. I appreciate your feedback that you give it. And I've got tons of resources. Like I said, not a problem. And these are people I highly recommend. Mrs. Reader Pants for your secondary level, awesome blogger. I love how she releases new books every Tuesday. And I could keep going on and on and on. And I just thank you for coming. And I hope you walked away with one like, oh, I'm going to try that. Or something that is inspiring you to go out and build a culture of readers. Thank you very much.